Turkey Day is just a couple of days away, so I gotta ask, what are you bringing to the meal? My personal favorite Thanksgiving dishes are stuffing and mac and cheese. I kind of had to go with two, but I'm not talking about crap. I'm talking about good homemade mac and cheese. You throw it in the oven, you get that crispy cheese layer. I mean, it's got to be good. And then the homemade stuffing, mwah, chef's kiss. I'm clearly a fan of Thanksgiving. So what is your favorite dish? It can be a main course, a side, or dessert. I don't care. But get down in the comments section right now, Saints fans. Welcome into Saints Now by Chat Sports. My name is Trace Girouard. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's show. No matter where you are or how you're watching, we greatly appreciate y'all for making us a part of your day. And in today's show, we're going to be discussing the Saints versus the Rams and a little preview action for you. And at the end of the video, I'm going to give you my score prediction and who I think ultimately wins this matchup. But before we dive into this, I want to look at the playoff picture because, believe it or not, the New Orleans Saints actually moved up during the bye week. Right now, the Atlanta Falcons still on top of the NFC South, but the Saints are knocking on the door. The Buccaneers are at 5-6. The Saints are at 4-7. You also have to get past the Rams, the Niners, and the Cardinals in order to get that number 7 seed in the wild card. Easiest route is win out and the Falcons lose a few games. You can win the division. They lose less games. You could maybe win the wild card, but here is the reality of this season. The Saints are not having a good year. The 7-game losing streak ultimately set this team back very, very bad. If you win any of those games at any point in time, you are in a much better position. But despite all of that, you were actually able to climb the rankings in the playoff seed and in the playoff picture because the Bears lost to the Vikings. And because the Commanders lost. So that just makes everything a little bit easier, and it lowers the ceiling in order to get into the wild card spot. So the Saints still have things to play for. Despite the 7-game losing streak, despite firing their head coach, there is still a reason to fight. So let's dive into this week's opponent. So the Rams in Week 12, they did take on the Philadelphia Eagles, and they were actually dominated by Philly on Sunday Night Football. Saquon Barkley had a career high, I believe it was, of 255 yards, 2 touchdowns of over 70-plus yards. One was on the first play from the third quarter. The Rams just ultimately lost in the trenches, but not just defensively, offensively as well. And in my personal opinion, the Rams just did not look like a good football team. And it's not that they are not a good football team, just the Eagles were clearly were a much better squad is what I'm trying to say. Matthew Stafford did get pressured a lot. He was ultimately sacked 5 times. And Puka Nacua, one of the best wide receivers in the league, in my personal opinion, he had another game with over 100 yards. Cooper Kupp, another weapon that the Rams have to pay attention to. But let's take a look at how the Rams stack up. They don't score a lot of points. They're average when it comes to moving the ball down the field. They're not very effective on third down. They're not that great in the red zone offensively. However, defensively, they are good in the red zone, and they have some young talent in Jared Verse and Braden Fisk on that defensive line that can really do some damage against the New Orleans Saints. And I still believe that the Rams defense is an overall quality unit. They will win matchups if you let them. So the Saints have to come, and they have to be ready to play. Now, here is how the New Orleans Saints stack up right now. Ultimately, they are better off when it comes to the points per game, the yards per game, as well as the yards per play. They're better on third down. They're better in the red zone offensively. So that's an area where the Saints can take advantage, especially because the Rams defense does lack the ability to stop giving up yards and stop putting up points. Defensively, the Saints do have a good squad. They need to give less yards, but they are a team that bends but will not break. So in the red zone, they are a top-tier team, in my personal opinion. They're number 6 statistically in the red zone across the league. So I think this is ultimately going to be a really, really good matchup. So who you got? Let me know in the comment section. Again, I told you I'm going to let you know who I have winning here in just a little bit. But type S for Saints, type R for Rams. And really quick, I want to give a shout-out to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's video. And it's the best place to get real money sports action. And right now, you can win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's fully guaranteed. And in today's economy, guaranteed money, yeah, I'll go ahead and take that. And they actually have a really cool promo going on for Thanksgiving. Tyreek Hill and the Miami Dolphins, he needs half a receiving yard. So he gets 1 yard, you get 1 win. And that is a free square pretty much on your Prize Picks lineup that you can have for Turkey Day or ultimately just throughout the whole week because there's a lot of interesting matchups. Prize Picks has enhanced not just my game day, but my girlfriend's game day as well. So fellas, get your girlfriend to sign up for Prize Picks, and you can use those winnings to go on a date night. I'll let you take that idea. You'll win some brownie points. Trust me, you'll want to get signed up with Prize Picks today. And they put their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. And Prize Picks now offers Venmo for quick and easy deposits and withdrawals into your account this sports season. So download the Prize Picks app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play $5. That's code CLNS when you download the Prize Picks app today. You'll get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. So talking more about this game, it is interesting. Last time the Saints played against the Rams, they lost, but before that, they won. And it's pretty cool because this matchup, it's going to be back at home, and I think that this is a place where the Saints can find a lot of success. The dome field advantage is a real thing as long as the fan base can show up and show out. The Rams are favored to win this ball game, and it is a 3 o'clock game, so we'll be going live an hour before kickoff. Actually, we'll probably be going live around 2, not 2:05. Just make life easy. So be sure to subscribe and join the watch party. It's going to be a lot of fun. Game will be on Fox, and if you don't have the ability to watch it, we'll be doing play-by-play and all that fun stuff for you. Previous meetings, like I mentioned, excuse me, goodness gracious. In 2023, the New Orleans Saints traveled to Los Angeles and took on, well, I guess Inglewood. They took on the Rams at SoFi Stadium on Thursday Night Football. 33-20. It was not a really pretty game. There was a lot of padded stats towards the end, and honestly, it just was one of those. It was a very frustrating game to watch ultimately. In 2022, the Saints actually won, though, 27-20. If you remember, Chris Olave absolutely dusted Jalen Ramsey for a long touchdown from Andy Dalton. I was actually at that game. It was pretty cool. It was my first and only Saints game I've ever been to with my dad, and it was actually a couple years ago, like last week or something, which is pretty cool to think. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. This was a big game. Saints won. Rams won. It's time to get another one. So, in my opinion, when it comes to the Saints coming off the bye, they were red hot when they were going into the bye. And I think Darren Rizzi understands that they have to stay hot. The bye week, although it is important to get healthy, to rest, to take that time to recover, it's also important not to lose the steam, not to lose the momentum that they've already created. And Rizzi pointed that out the other day. When you have a late bye like this, it's a little bit of a complete different mentality than those early in the season byes. Number one, we've got to rest and relax and get our bodies back and come back refreshed. Now, number two, we have a little momentum going here and over the last couple of weeks, so I think it's important that we come back with that same mentality. And you do have to come back with that same mentality because in Week 13, you bring the Rams to the Superdome. But in Week 14, you have to travel up to New Jersey and go to MetLife, take on Tommy DeVito and the New York Football Giants. In Week 15, you definitely have to bring it, and you have Marshawn Lattimore, Jaden Daniels coming to the Superdome. That's going to be a tough game, but the biggest one of all, I think the 3 big games that you have to pay attention to: Rams, Commanders, Packers, Monday Night Football, the week of Christmas in Lambeau Field. It's going to be cold. Last time the Saints played in a freezing cold game like they did, or like they should be playing this game, was against the Browns in Cleveland. They ended up winning that game. So, hey, Taysom Hill masterclass would be pretty cool. Week 17, I'm not necessarily worried about. In Week 18 against the Bucs, that is a team that I am concerned about. They are not a bad football team. The Bucs always play you hard. But if the Saints can focus each and every week, if you don't look ahead, you don't focus on the team that you have to play the next week, you focus on your current opponent, and you win each week, they can go on a run here. And if they go on this crazy run here, guys, the Saints will make the playoffs. And I think am I crazy to think that we all wouldn't be pretty happy if that happened? Sure, you can argue, I don't want to make the playoffs. I want the high draft pick. I want to reset. I want to rebuild everything. That's not what the Saints are doing here. The Saints are trying to stay competitive. They're moving forward. And if you have a head coach who takes your team on a massive win streak like right now, I mean, this would be an 8-game win streak for Darren Rizzi. 8-0 in the regular season. That would be incredible for Darren Rizzi. It feels like you would have your head coach pretty much picked out already. Like, I'm just saying, if you can figure that part of it out, that's a really good information. That's really good news for the Saints moving forward. Win each week. Don't focus on the Giants game. Don't focus on this Commanders game. Focus on taking down Matthew Stafford because he is still a really, really good quarterback. He is top 10 in passing yards this season. He's really good at protecting the football. He will put the ball up for grabs, and players are able to pick him off. It's not like he's not going to throw a risky pass, but he has talented players in Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp who will take over and who will make you pay if you let them take advantage of those extra yards that you may give them. Now, I will give a lot of credit. Derek Carr is playing some really, really good football as of recently. In the past couple of weeks, he has really turned things up. No interceptions, since returning from his injury, and he's been playing really smart football, protecting the ball, protecting the pill. He's delivering passes to his playmakers, and ultimately, there are 5 players offensively who need to stay hot for me. I need to obviously see Derek Carr continue to play good football, play clean, smart, good football. Alvin Kamara, I want to see him continue to dominate, not just as a rusher, but as a receiving back as well. Taysom Hill, let him do Taysom Hill shit. Just let him do his thing. Don't overthink it. Foster Moreau, in my opinion, has been one of the bigger step-up players this season. He has been excellent as a tight end for the Saints. He's been very reliable, making big catches, multiple touchdowns on the season. And Marquez Valdes-Scantling, the midseason prince for New Orleans, he has been absolutely electric. So if you want to see Marquez Valdes-Scantling, Foster Moreau, Alvin Kamara, Taysom Hill, you want to see this entire offense, just keep on rolling. You want to see the good vibes moving. You want to see this team keep it going. Give me a WHO DAT down in the comment section. Now, for this matchup specifically, this is not going to be an easy game. Both teams are going to come out ready to fight. Both teams are going to come out swinging. Both teams need to win this game. But what it comes down to is not who needs it more, it's who wants it more. Who's going to accept failure less? Who is going to desire that win more? Who will not accept failure? Which team is going to buckle down, play clean football, make no mistakes, and just put your head on the other player and you let the helmet do the talking. I just butchered that entire thing. But you let the helmet do the talking. You don't play stupid football. You get out there and you win. You play fast, physical, and smart and clean football. No stupid mistakes. Don't unload the clip on your own foot. You have to take care of business, especially right now, because you do not have the opportunity to make stupid mistakes, because stupid mistakes end your season at this point because of the damage that has already been done. So the Saints have a lot of momentum, and that's a really, really good thing. So continue to build it. If you take down the Los Angeles Rams, that is a good football team, and that is a really good win. You take down the Rams, guess what? Now you have to focus on the Giants. That's an easier game. Then you focus on the Commanders. That's a winnable game. And then you focus on the Packers. Another winnable game. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but they are winnable games. It's not like you're taking on the greatest football teams that have ever existed the last few weeks. So for this matchup, I have the New Orleans Saints winning 24-17. So be sure to subscribe for Saints Dubs. Sub for Dubs, baby. We will be live 1 hour before kickoff on Sunday, so we will see you guys there. Thank you so much for tuning in. Y'all stay golden. We'll see you next time.